Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, it is afternoon, and we're in the middle of July, which means Camp NaNo. So I might even try to be productive.
Sunday this afternoon.
Oh no, and we're in the middle of July, which means Camp NaNo.
Whoops.
Where's that tab? I can't find the
Some
tab.
foolish person forgot to mute a tab.
It
was me.
Was it not me?
It was me.
Not me. Yes.
It was not you. It was me.
Anyway, I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. And with me today, I have Sako Tumi and Doc Coleman. Say hi to the nice people.
Hi, nice people.
Hello, nice
Introduce
people.
yourselves. You can rock, paper, scissors, see who goes first. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nope.
Go Sako.
Okay. Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those two things. If you are interested in videos that pertain to marketing for authors, I have a whole playlist of them on my channel, Sako Tumi Voit. And it's not just me talking, it's a whole bunch of other awesome author tubers that have something to say on the topic. So stop by sometime. I would love to see you.
Awesome.
Just in case. Wow. Long time no see.
Hey, folks. I am Doc Coleman. I write steampunk comedy adventure. And I'm tired right now. I got my weekly groceries in early, and I put them away, and I'm kind of tired and recovering it from right now. But
That works. So, what's everybody working on today?
No clue. I finished my Camp NaNo project.
Dude!
Like yesterday.
that's impressive.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fist bump? Fist bump?
This month. Yeah. So now I guess I'm working on finishing some Flash stories.
I should write more Flash.
So as for me, the Maryland primaries are on Tuesday, so I'm figuring out who I'm voting for.
Gotcha. Did you find an editor yet? I heard.
I have not chosen an editor, but I have got 3 editors that I have engaged. I need to send samples out to them and get replies back from them. So if I actually finish up with this before we're up, I'll probably switch over to going ahead and prepping samples of the book to send off to them.
August is coming. August is coming.
So, Justin Case is here. Hello. And Justin says they write sci-fi and mystery. That's pretty cool. I am fantasy all over the spectrum, and I am working on my Camp NaNo project, which was the same as my April Camp NaNo project, but big difference. One was prepping it to send to the alpha reader, and now I'm doing the revisions from the alpha reader.
Yeah.
And my hope, dream is to have these revisions filtered through the whole story and be ready for beta readers by August. So kind of excited. Would love for that to happen.
That is optimistic.
It's very optimistic, but most of my edits, she only gave me like 10 inline comments, and everything else was, can you make this more clear? I need the motivation for that. So it's a lot of spot editing and not like manuscript editing. So a little tricky to track NaNoWriMo style, but yeah. So Justin says that their upcoming novel is a sort of urban fantasy. That's awesome.
Nice.
My next project is going to be an urban fantasy. So, and Donquity is here. Hello. Good going. Keep it up. Thank you. So awesome that we have people today. I hope y'all are excited. Now, if you're new to my channel, I am a firm believer in being as productive as you feel like. I know Sunday afternoon is some people's time to relax, read a book, eat snacks. Some people do laundry, or if you're like us, sometimes we get some writing or editing done. So wherever you are, no judgment zone. We're just going to do some 22-minute sprints because Morgan is still easily amused and it's 2022. And yeah, so what do you say we just dive into it?
Sounds good.
Oh, wait. I want to ask Sako. This weekend is the AuthorTube Writers Conference, and I had a panel last night, and you had a panel today. How did yours go?
Went pretty well. I think the viewership was lying to me because my chat was hopping.
Nice.
And I managed to actually work within the time frame. Except I think I was 5 minutes late with the questions.
Okay.
But that's fine. It's up on my channel, so in case you are interested in viewing it at any point, it was a presentation on author websites, and I will probably, I don't know, I want to do something like a series of workshops here in the future.
I would be on board. I was yesterday evening. I gave my workshop or my presentation on how the traditional publishing process works, and last weekend at Imaginarium, I gave it as a workshop and filled 90 minutes. So I may have gone a little fast this time. I mean, I wasn't stopping so people could work on stuff or anything like that. I gave them like 3 minutes to try and write a log line, which we all know is, wait, what's the name of, what should I call my characters? Oh, time's up. But I rushed through it in 45 minutes, so I hope it's not too fast. But it is available on my channel, so you can always slow it down and pause and take notes if you want. So
yeah, I strongly recommend taking notes on my presentation earlier.
Yeah, it's the same material I did at the convention, just different sets of questions and different lengths of breaks. So it's not like, you know, people who paid to attend a conference get different quality material from me. Because bleep that.
Bleep that.
Right? Justin said today, I won't write a single word. I'm taking a few days break to read. About to finish Bocanelli's The Mystery of the Cathedrals.
Nice.
I can't tell if that's fiction or nonfiction. It could be either way with a title like that.
Yep.
So maybe Justin will let us know. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and set up this share timer. Doc right now is working on deciding who to vote for in the upcoming primary in his state. And then hopefully he'll be prepping his manuscript for potential editors to take August to get his work ready. It's actually in time for fair.
In some ways, it's kind of ridiculously hard to figure out who you're going to vote for in a primary, because all the candidates are so close. You have to find nitpicky things to eliminate somebody to figure out who to vote for.
Yeah.
But
haha, there we go. Okay. So, okay. Justin has clued us in. Fucinelli was a French alchemist, and the work of his is nonfiction. Excellent. Okay. So, Donkity is doing some research on policies rather than the process stories, and wishes Doc luck when Doc's connection pops back in. But let's go ahead and get started on the sprint in 3, 2, 1, boom, chakalaka. I'm gonna grab some water.
All right.
And we're back. I know right now a storm is rolling through, so it looks like Doc's stability, internet stability, I'm not saying anything about any other form of stability, might not be the best today. But how was your sprint? Let me know. And tons of people joined during that first sprint, so let me pop into the comments and say hello. So starting off, Doc was doing some research about who to vote for in his state's primaries. And he says the idea being, if I can research a story, I can research a politician, right? Some debate over how I might switch out an M dash in my writing. Ward swung by. Hello and welcome. Author Goddess is here. Hello. Always great to have you. And Donquity said hello to everybody. So the sentence I was asking for suggestions on was, Vasilissa carefully picked a path across the rocks and the piles of the pungent Ricarian kelp. Its scent as salty as the sea and as bitter as tears. So I had an M dash, and the debate is, do I want a semicolon, a comma, a period, or ellipsis? I think I'm just going to leave it as is. But the other question was the prose too purple? Was it too over the top with the melodrama in there? And nobody seemed to hate it, so I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Doc.
Hello, thank you.
Do you have a storm rolling in where you are, or is it further south?
Not as far as I can tell. I think it's just the internet gods being fickle and messing with me. Either that or somebody's jamming my Wi-Fi, and that's why it keeps dropping off.
Tisk, I would like to say Tisk.
Mm-hmm.
So, author goddess is having some storms where she is. So,
Last I checked outside, it was bright and sunny, and the heat
I'm
was oppressive.
assuming, yeah, I'm assuming she, her pronouns for a goddess. I try not to make pronoun assumptions too much, but yeah. So, how was your sprint?
I did pretty good. I've figured out 2 candidates that I'm voting for, and I'm closing in on a 3rd one.
Nice. I pulled out my flip dictionary, where you look up the word you look up the definition, where it says,
And it tells you the words.
It gives you list of related terms. If you look up knows more than they do, person who pretends to, you get philofaster and philofunculist. So, you look up what it means. And then, so anyway, I was trying to come up with a good word for the way that my not octopus people move. And I was thinking reaching, but that has so many other connotations. So what I have, hey, are you traveling?
I am waiting
for
work? Yeah, I'm waiting for Kibby to get out of work. Yeah.
Sure. So I've decided the best word for how my not octopus people walk on land is undulate.
They undulate across
So
the floor. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. It just, I mean, I've written this story twice and had to hit a dictionary, and I finally found the word to replace walk.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's how it goes.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
So I'm just, that was a triumph. 22 minutes to find a word.
It would either be undulate or writhe.
Yeah, but they're much more,
Yeah.
I mean, they're competent at walking across the floor.
Yes.
I thought about teamed across with the 2 E's, but I think that would be like a huge group of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could talk about the tentacles teaming, but not the not octopus.
Or that they proceeded with writhing tentacles. No.
Right.
It's like it describes how the motion looks rather than how deliberate the motion is. But
right. But the main character's point of view, she's been on the planet with them for like 10 years, so they're not creepy anymore.
They're not creepy anymore.
So, popping into the comments, Claude is here. Hello.
Hi, Claude.
Cloud did a reading sprint, reading Barry Reese, The Adventures of Lazarus Gray, Volume 2. Great short stories. Awesome. Nice. Dunkity says, a good sprint there. Iteration 7 of this first chapter is getting there.
Nice.
And also, one could use that word to describe how they dance. And Jen writes, romance is here and loves your lipstick, Sako.
Why, thank you.
Right. And MM Ward managed to hit your stream for the conference and loved your material. So,
awesome. Thank you, Mama Ward. Thank you.
Begged for a Sako workshop next time. So awesome. So I guess Sako's sprint was half driving.
It was half driving and half smoking a cigarette and half talking to Greg, or my husband.
I mean, I'm a fan, so.
Oh, here comes Kibby.
Yay!
So I'm going to go into sprint mode.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
Let's go ahead and do another sprint then.
Yeah.
Justin's trying to manipulate corporate.
Okay, let's go ahead.
That was a quick hang up. Yeah.
Right. Well, and she doesn't know she's live. When you get off work, are you saying nice things about your coworkers?
Usually I'm not saying anything about my coworkers, but yeah, I see the point there.
So, okay, let's go ahead and do another sprint and let's see what we can get done. If you hopped on the sprint stream, let us know what you're working on today. We love people working on projects or, eating half a bag of dark chocolate caramel popcorn if that's what floats your boat.
Or
Everybody
turtle
should know by now. Excellent. That's what I had at my mom's house. I had a lovely bag of Chex Mix. But yeah, if you're new to the sprint, Morgan is 100% pro snacks. So let us know what you're snacking on and what you're working on.
Got to fuel the body, right?
Right. So yeah, let's see. Hello. Let me pop out actually. We had a bunch of people pop in and start talking. So hello, Lauren. Lauren asks if we caught all the speakers at the AuthorTube Writers Conference this weekend. I did not hit all of them, but I was on it and managed to get a couple in. And luckily, they'll be available for rewatch. So if you look at mine, I think there's a link to the whole kit and caboodle, so you can find everything. So Jen says AWS was her day, but now she needs to get some words down. For Claude, great day for them. 2 weeks out of 3, a vacation done, and the tank is refilling a bit. So Donkety wishes everybody good vibes. And now that AWC is over, it's back to our regular sprinting schedule. Oh, thank you, Claude. Claude likes my logo. Jen missed most of the conference. But yay for replays. Ooh.
Through the miracle of YouTube, right?
Right. M. Ward is eating loaded nachos and working on a short story from a character created on writer Sam Wicker's Character Randomizer back in June. That's awesome.
Cool.
And has 9 hours of rewatch to do. Oh, Jen is getting over being ill, but is good now, so that's good.
Okay.
Lauren asks Maggie who her character is, and Kelly finished his snacks before joining, ate it all up while creating a LinkedIn header. Oh, am I supposed to have a LinkedIn header? Because I have headers I could probably use over there. Things to think about.
No.
And distract
Aren't
me
you the
from my
social media
actual
expert?
right.
Yeah.
There's so many social medias. You can't be an expert on all of them.
This is true.
You got to pick one or two to specialize in. Donkety is writing a first chapter of a foodie fantasy called Guild of Adventurers Ball. Being on Team Pantser, they're trying to make a kick-ass first chapter and go from there. There is a long list of what they try to put into it, though, which is the 30% team plotter in me. Plants are life. Plants are life. Plants are. You don't have to pick pantser or plotter. You can be in between, like probably 85% of us.
And you don't have to get the first chapter perfect before you go on to the second, because we'll fix it in post.
And a lot of times the story ends up shifting as you go through, and for it to fit, Sako is a huge proponent of writing the first chapter last. She starts off with something, but then she goes back and rewrites it to help the story come full circle and feel balanced. So, Mom Maggie says, working with Missy, the master thief pixie, who has issues with greed and foolhardiness, is not a great combination. Oh my goodness.
But it sounds like a average D&D character.
Team Planter, yay! Here, here. And Maggie says, "I'll write the third chapter first." Planter, yay! Lauren is one of those scary full-out pantsers. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, my technique is just to start writing, and I'll come back later and figure out where the story actually starts.
Yeah. Jen says, I need that first chapter before I continue. It sets the tone. I I usually set the tone and then keep going, but as long as the tone works out right, I just keep going and then come back and rework it. But I don't need to perfect that first chapter. I just need to get the voice right for the character.
Yeah. And I'll often find that I will write a section that helps me set the tone for me. But when I get back to editing, that goes on the cutting room floor because once I've got the tone in mind, everything after that is in the right tone. So,
Yeah. So Jen says, I guess I'm not above changing something though. And Donkey says, tone is the reason I got it wrong 6 times. Oof. For me, once I get that first sentence or two, it really sets the tone for me. I don't know. Maggie says, I need the last chapter or last big event near the start of writing because I need to know the destination and maybe who dies. I get that. It's not how I work. I've tried writing out of order and I don't like it. But I have the current one I'm working on right now. I did jump back and fill in stuff that I realized needed to happen. But I'm still mostly writing in order, not jumping around. So Donkey says, good discussion. Jen says, I've heard that writing the last chapter is a great idea. I've heard it's best for like thrillers and mysteries, but if it works for you, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have an idea of where you want to end up, but you don't necessarily have to write it to hold that idea. But.
Yeah, I do like to have a direction, but then I totally ignore it until I get stuck. So, well, anyway, I think we've stalled enough. I think it's time to do a sprint. As soon as I figure out where to put that tab. Okay, let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, boom.
there has been a cat sighting.
And we're back. How was your sprint?
I actually stayed connected most of the time. I think I only dropped off twice.
Oh my goodness. Sako? Sako made it back to her desk and I think had like 10 whole minutes. Oh, but can't really talk right now. Okay, that's fine. So lots of chat in the chat. So I'm going to hop in real quick. So let's see.
Okay,
Mama
they
Meg-
have retreated. They have retreated to go smoke a cigarette. Okay.
Very okay. So Mama Maggie writes everyone's death at the very beginning, but doesn't always use them.
Oh, interesting.
Lauren has a hard time writing the ending, sometimes to a longer story. I have rewritten endings multiple times on both of my successful leaps, and yeah, my endings get changed a lot.
I usually write 2 or 3 endings, and then I pick which one would be the wackiest.
Justin once rewrote half a novel thinking they had the tone and style wrong, and later an editor asked for it to go back to how they'd originally had it.
This is why you always keep a copy.
Always keep a copy. Mama Maggie once wrote a character's death while writing the story 4 books before it happened. Knew it was going to be a series, but knew the death was out there, and sadly the character knew it too, but he had to keep it a secret because of the law of oracles. Ooh, Justin
Dark
at one
Oracles
point,
Union.
right? At one point, Justin rewrote the entire novel from past tense to present tense, and it helped a lot. Oh, good. Ends are much easier than beginnings for Justin, but often the beginnings turn out more exciting. I mean, they call it the exciting incident, don't they? Oh, wait, no, inciting.
Inciting. I don't know. I find my endings just kind of roll together. I get rolling when I get near the end of the story, and yeah, the threads kind of end up wrapping around each other, and it works out nice.
For my first manuscript, basically I finished one massive story arc, and I basically just pencil dropped at the end of that chapter because I was already at 130,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I will do some editing now. So, let's see. Kelly plotted 3 projects out last week, so used a 14-mile walk. Oh my gosh, that's a bit, to help flesh out some details. Claude has to leave for dinner. Thanks for coming.
Oh.
Mama Maggie hails all the feline overlords. And Heather swung by hello to say hi. And hit the like button. Aw, thank you. Mama Maggie got 198 words. Excellent. Don Quitty said Oracle's union. I like to think Agnes Nutter is unionized. Oh, she would be, right?
Yes, she would.
She would organize the union and tell them how it was going to be and who was going to join and when they needed to prep for, upcoming events.
Yep. All according to prophecy.
Right. Oh my gosh, Jen is on a roll. 530 words done?
Nicely done, Jen.
Seriously. How was
Must
y'all?
be a spasticine.
Now that Sako can talk, how was your sprint?
I am still doing it. I'm actually decorating this week's weekly spread in my bullet journal.
Okay.
Looking for my washi tape. That's peculiar.
I got 45 words written because I was trying to figure out how to end a chapter so that it would launch into the next one nicely. And I had to come up with a word for brains that works for a not octopus whose brain cells are distributed through the entire body. I went with neurons.
Ganglia.
So I am decorating with phases of the moon,
Phases
watching
Oh
of
my
the moon.
gosh.
which
So cute.
I totally forgot I owned.
I
That was
mean,
the upside to cleaning my desk. I get to find all the things that I bought over the
right.
year.
Catechus is quietly keeping me company today,
Nice.
which is not
Well,
always
Gilly,
the case.
Gilly was sitting on my chest earlier, and now is sitting next to me, just staring at me. It's irritably in that cat fashion.
I mean, can you imagine how much you would get done if you weren't being supervised?
Well, they can't, obviously. No.
Maybe they've heard what happens when they're not helping.
What, you mean I get stuff done? No.
You don't get the right stuff done, though.
Wounded I am.
Wounded.
I mean, when they're not around, how many times do you pet them?
They're very difficult to pet when they're not around.
That's what I'm saying. One of my favorite jokes is telling someone I'm allergic to them. And when they're like, "Pfft," I'm like, well, have you ever heard me sneeze when you're not around? Sorry. It's right up there with any time you pass like a field or a meadow with like a horse or a cow in it, going,
sure.
that cow is outstanding in its field.
Field.
See what I did there? See what I did there?
Yep.
Someday
Because the
it
cow
will not be
owns
old.
the field. The cow is not renting. The cow owns that.
They're outstanding in the field.
They're outstanding in the field.
I want someone to say that about me and my writing.
Okay.
Other than my mom, you know.
Other than your mom?
Not that she would say that. So far, she saw my published nature horror story and said that my vocabulary was too big. And I was like, I don't even.
What a criticism. Your vocabulary is too big.
From a high school librarian, I'm like, what word is she complaining about? I have no clue. None whatsoever.
It was an adult story, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have no clue what she was complaining about. So, anyway.
Your vocabulary is excessively adequate. What?
I mean, I was told that by ninth graders when I was in ninth grade, and then I quit eating inside at the lunchroom and started a whole thing. So the year after I graduated, they put in picnic tables out front. But we just sat on the curb and ate outside, or when it was cold, we sat between the double doors, just on the floor in front of the heater.
Yeah.
But I think giving kids outdoor eating options wasn't a bad idea.
We had a courtyard in my high school.
Your school was bigger than mine?
Probably.
I was a graduating class of 52.
Oh, no. We were like 200 something.
The school was like 200 something, including the 8th grade.
The school was like 900 something.
Yeah.
We had a courtyard in my high school, and since then they have put a roof over it and made it another classroom.
Oh no!
Boo.
The school where my mother was librarian found some currently considered medicinal plants growing behind some things in the planter on school property. Growing pots. Hilarity ensues. So, Mama Maggie says that the law of oracles states someone receiving a prediction of their death cannot reveal it. And Kelly asked if you were showing us a tarot card at some point. Oh, no. It was talking to Mama Maggie. Sorry.
Speaking of new tarot decks,
Woo. Ooh.
Inkromancy Skull. This was
Hmm.
3rd edition, and each card is done by a different tattoo artist.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So this is the back, and then like this is the King of Wands, for instance.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
So each of the cards have a skull on them, and the art is amazing, like super amazing.
That's awesome. Is this a new storytelling deck, or are you going to use it for readings?
I'm definitely not going to use it for readings, but I might use it to decorate my office.
Mm-hmm.
King of Swords.
Right.
7 of Wands.
Oh, I thought it was a black and white deck.
No, it's not entirely a black and white deck. There are some color ones in here too.
Let's see. Tattoo artists can use color. They're allowed.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, howdy.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of color.
Super vibrant.
So I'm a fan. I got it at Balticon, actually.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this when I say my con sold tarot cards? Sako was giving her storytelling through tarot presentation at Imaginarium and forgot her deck and didn't have one with her and hoped to hit the vendor's room and no love.
No luck.
No tarot cards?
No such luck. Instead, I
Mm.
had all those people coming up to me saying, "Oh, I have this deck with me and this deck with me," and
you're like, well, that was useful.
That was useful.
Maybe?
You know.
Yeah. Maybe you should put a note that says, "Bring your tarot deck if you want."
Yeah.
And then have people show theirs off, and then grab one that speaks to you and play with that one.
No. I don't.
Oh,
I
true.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't mess with other people's
Right.
casting decks.
Yeah.
Because my energy can totally muck up what they're trying to do.
Right. Okay. So, popping back into the comments on the "Is that a tarot card?" Mama Maggie says, "No, this is from my Relic of Time and Shadows War. The Oracles of Light are bound by very strict rules about revealing visions, but the oracles who survive the destruction of the Temple of Light break most of the rules, including the rule against writing prophecies down."
I guess they kind of feel like the rules didn't work for them. So
Justin says when he rewrote that same story multiple times and multiple points of view, only kept the final draft.
Sheesh.
That's brave. That's so brave.
Mm-hmm.
So, Justin says it was a 112-word novel, a lot to rewrite.
Yeah.
I keep all my drafts separately.
I keep all my drafts separate.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because I never know when I want to go back 3 editions and pull out a section and resurrect it.
I've never had to do that yet, but I have lost like a current draft and had to go back and do the third draft over again.
If I start requerying my YA fantasy as an adult fantasy, I think I'm going to add a scene at the beginning that used to be there. Because I think adult can start a little slower, and it would also establish her as an adult having a job rather than, because she does live with her family, but that's part of her society and stuff like that. So it would establish that a little easier, I think.
Right on.
So, Don Quiddy says, "Sure, get rid of the draft because everything is transitory. Better lean into it." And Kelly says, he asked about tarot because he came across a publisher that receives stories based on the meaning of tarot cards.
Neat.
Interesting. Let us know which one. And bump the rules, let the world know. Apparently, only 3 oracles survived.
Yeah.
So, Heather says we mentioned Balticon, and now that AWC is over, Heather can concentrate on preparing for Necronomicon
Tampa. Which you got to remind me when that is, and I will look into it.
Yeah. For Maggie's story, the 3 saved a remnant of their people when the world was destroyed because they didn't keep the vision secret. That came without a petitioner secret. Gotcha. And Kelly says, consensus saying, gotta save those copies. If it doesn't work for you, I understand, but that's not how I roll.
And it's like electronic storage is cheap.
Pretty much. So, Mama Maggie says that the tarot publisher sounds interesting. I just finished a tarot-inspired story called Death and the ADA. Cool.
Is death a recognized disability?
Or is death trying to get something recognized by the ADA?
Yeah. Death needs an accommodation.
So, okay. Well, should we do another sprint?
We should.
Yes.
We should.
Let's do this. Are we ready?
I think so.
Ready as we'll ever be.
3, 2, 1, boom. And we're back. How was y'all's sprint? My cat is nuzzling my camera, so I apologize for that. I made myself flail with feels on my own story because I'm adding more motivation for my alien, and one of it is communications from one of their children / nieces. They have a whole thing where any of your siblings' children are counted as yours, and only 1 or 2 people from a sibling group will have eggs, and the rest will support the large clutches. So
Sounds fun.
I made it through 2 scenes, adding that in. So I'm pretty happy how that turned out. How was y'all's sprint? Sako gets to go first this time, I think.
Oh, okay.
Put you on the spot.
So I'm kind of like updating my spread in the way that usually I have like a weekly thing,
Right.
to log my hours and see how much I'm working myself,
Yeah.
But it having to turn back to a weekly page when I want to stay open on my normal page, I'm just gonna log my hours by the day instead of by the week.
Sure.
So I'm gonna test drive that this week and see what's up.
Cool. Doc?
I'm continuing to dig into research. Of course, one of the problems is you start getting to the what's considered the lesser offices on the ballot. You have less resources to dig up information, so you can figure out who you want to vote for.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm taking part in the governmental process.
I'm proud of you. So, popping into the comments, the discussion inspired Heather to pull out their tarot cards. Justin says a tarot reader and the cards The Moon and Queen of Wands are important in the mystery novel they rewrote twice. Perhaps they should translate it into English. Very possibly. Kelly was up late last night looking and planning for a couple submissions when he came across this publication. He thought it was interesting that one of his stories met the major arcana of love.
That doesn't make sense.
I think he meant the lovers. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I asked him about that and didn't see a response.
Gotcha. Heather said, sounds interesting. My novel story plot is based loosely on a tarot pool I did, and there's a tarot reader in it. Mama Maggie says the ADA is in the story is in the Queen of Wands, which apparently is an anthology and not just a completed webcomic.
Okay.
Nostalgia Fest for a hardcore webcomic addict here who's been reading this entire millennia. So Sako says with the lovers, having that as inspiration is tricky because the card actually relates more to your relationship with yourself.
Yep.
So Justin says, have you noticed that Queen of Wands in the Rider-Waite deck is the only card with a cat? I presume the cat represents the Queen's intuition.
Usually.
Reasonable to me. And King Red Spy Red X showed up. Hello, Jacob, and welcome. I'm glad you swung by. So let's see. Justin said hi and is enjoying a couple days off. Kelly says, yep, you're right. He was streaming a video on asteroid resonance and got distracted. Don Quitty says that their sprint is going well. They're trying to figure out the relationship between their hero and Pangloss. An interesting question, I find. How do you let your writing be influenced by good books you love?
Mm-hmm.
Asking the hard questions.
I let my writing be influenced by everything that I read.
Yeah.
Just like my art style is a culmination of all the artists that I've studied.
I think there's a saying, if you steal from one person, it's
Plagiarism.
and if you steal from everyone, I think it's research.
Yeah.
It's an homage.
Right. So Heather is off to dinner. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you made it. And Jen says they're doing good and are doing the full-time writer thing. That's awesome.
Wow, that's so cool.
And freelancing right now. So are you doing write for hire? Are you doing articles? Are you making it on novels? Let me know. I'm curious.
Yeah, we would love to know like what the
And I think the real question for being a full-time writer is, how do you pay for health insurance?
Yeah.
Do you have a spouse?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
so Don Quitty says, in this case, I think it's an homage. Smile and take care of your garden, and you will live in the best of all possible worlds, quoting their mother. Oh, okay. Jen is a ghostwriter on Upwork
Gotcha.
and is doing novels of many lengths. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
If I could write faster or wrote more in, I think, the serialized genres like romance and mystery.
Jen is consistently pretty prolific.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think they can easily
My hand
knock this out.
I did a 4,000 word day once in my life ever. And I remember how bad my hand hurt afterwards.
I made it to 7 in a day.
Oh, I'm impressed.
I was going
I've
for
done-
10. I was
Yeah.
going for 10, but I made it to 7 in a day.
Gotcha.
I hit my 10 the next day.
Gotcha. Oh, Jen answered the question on insurance.
Covered
California. I retired from my job, so they'll cover my premium for a few years, and then hopefully she'll be good to go. Awesome. Super jealous here in Virginia. So Jen gets 5K a day because Jen is amazing and professional and also writes fast. You can be amazing and professional and not write that fast. That's not a requirement. It's kind of a bonus.
Kind of a bonus.
Yeah. So Don Quitty would like to remind us that they're in a country with universal health care. I'll just be over here sobbing into my cat's fur. Jen says 5K of words a day, not money.
Words.
But that's what I assumed. So, yeah. And Jen is jealous as well. Yeah. Like, maybe I'll start dating and find somebody with good health insurance and then make it go with everything.
Yeah, I got lucky.
I mean, and not just for insurance.
Not just for insurance.
So, and Don Quitty is grateful. There is a reason there are a lot of debut novelists age 55 and up or 65 and up, because that's when they can retire and qualify for Medicare.
Yeah.
So, and they have the time.
Having a nice retirement package means not having to worry about the rent and being able to put your time into writing.
Yeah. So my dad retired about 2 years after I finished my first manuscript. I told him, and he's like, "Oh, I used to want to be a writer." And he got back into it, and then he retired, and now he's got, one thing out with small press and working on another and this and that and the other. And I'm like, I still have a full-time job here.
Yeah.
Rue, shake fist.
Rue and shake fist.
So Justin says Justin is freelancing as well, Been freelancing writing in between other jobs, usually related to books. Editor, book detective since 1986, and is about to launch a small press. Awesome.
Nice.
Jen says she should have waited until she got to Medicare age, but the office was toxic and made it 20 years. Whew. Good enough. Good enough. So, Justin, let us know what your small press is going to be called. And Jen is offering to help, etc., etc. So
My washi tape is curling.
It's been a while since my own writing gave me feels, so I'm kind of excited.
You know what? The thing that I just finished gave me feels, and like I've never given myself feels before.
Aw.
So I was like, this is a successful story.
Yay. Like I didn't cry, but I went like this and flailed a little. There's a little bit of flail. Justin says the name of their small press will be Incubator. Nice.
Interesting.
That's a good name. I like it. Jen wishes she had more time to write her own stuff. I'm learning this since I'm only 2 months into retirement. Don't you mean your new career?
Your new career. Yeah.
Because if you're working 5,000 words a day, that doesn't sound like retirement. That just sounds out of the 9 to 5 and into the 24/7 hustle life.
Which is something I avoid, which is why this thing.
Right. Yeah.
If it wasn't for this thing, I would be working 24/7.
That's part. Go ahead.
I've looked at what I expect my life to be like when I retire, and I think I'm going to end up going from working 8 hours a day Monday through Friday to working 6 hours a day Monday through Friday, and still be able to keep up word production and manage things. So and still have my weekends.
Yeah, if you're planning on conventions and stuff, it might be easier and stabler to do a 4-day-a-week work schedule.
I would like to recommend the same.
Yeah.
Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday is mandatory do nothing day. Not work on whatever you want day. Mandatory do nothing day.
Or travel day or conference day.
Yeah.
My primary rule is that it should, if you're going to do it, you do it as five days a week. Doesn't matter which 5 days. So if you need to move it around because you've got something going on, you can do that.
I believe in the 4-day work week.
Yeah.
So popping into the comments, Jen agrees with us. Jen did not retire.
He retired from one business and went to another.
And cannot really write for 8 hours straight, needs to break that up and try to fit other things into the day.
Yeah, for sure.
I need to get better at scheduling my day so it's consistent and more productive. But I still need to follow up with my doctor about that whole ADHD executive dysfunction thing.
Yeah.
You know what makes it really hard to follow up about executive dysfunction? Is it executive dysfunction? I'll be here all hour. Yeah. Oh wait, we're at 6:30.
We are. Yeah, we're at 6:30.
So Mama Maggie says they've never made 10K a day. And Justin says, thanks, but no help needed. I've got all the experience and contacts. By the way, ISBNs are free in Denmark. Do we have to pay for them?
Yeah.
We have to pay for them.
Unless you're going through Amazon, you can get a free ISBN through Amazon.
Gotcha.
But then Amazon will be listed as the publisher of your book.
Right.
Yeah.
So it really depends on how important that is to you.
Yeah. And Kelly has a separate little notepad he calls to-do list. That's what my Trello board is for. Speaking of, it's still set on second quarter and we're 2 weeks into July. It's okay. All I do is I archive the column that says done and mark it as whatever quarter it is. And then I make a new done column and I double check anything that needs to get done in the next month or two. And create a thing for my weekly vlog check-in. So it's half up to date. I did half of it. So Jen says, I am horrible at it. I don't have more hours per day. I still have my family and things to do around the house, and I need to add gym to that. So, yeah.
Beat Saber.
Yeah.
No.
Right? We need to do a Beat Saber party.
Yep.
So, Don Quiddy says, I find doing nothing and letting things percolate is super important for my writing. Thus, I don't worry too much about volume. I am definitely a percolator as well. I think Sako is talking to someone off screen.
Nope, I'm sorry.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
And I forgot what I just said.
Oh, sorry. Talking about scheduling and percolating.
I definitely need a day or 3 to percolate. And writing is not the only thing I do.
Yeah.
So I'm like Fridays, I'm trying to devote to doing nothing, like no hobbies, no burners with projects, nothing that.
I want to do nothing day.
Yeah.
Well,
I do nothing day.
It's definitely good to devote some regular time to things that fill up your fun tank, as it were, because my statement has always been that work runs on fun. So you have to have a supply of fun so you can do the work.
Yeah. So Jen says that a draft to digital sometimes gives you an ISBN, and she often ignores self-care. And Kelly says, you've got to pay for ISBNs. I believe a lot of publishers and small presses as part of the publication, but if you're going full indie, then you definitely need to buy your ISBN in the States. So, hey, Greg swung by from Lynchburg.
Hi.
I hope you're having fun out there. So, Kelly says, work hard, play harder.
I concur.
I like to play gently sometimes.
That's why I do nothing on Friday. Now, not every Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
but I try to do it as often as possible.
Half the time you have Morgan saying, hey, what time am I picking you up? And you're like, I thought we were leaving tomorrow. Oh, I'm so sorry. Greg's in Lynchburg. I'm so sorry.
That's unfortunate.
So, I'm good for another sprint. Where are y'all?
I'm good for another sprint.
I mean, I did just down half a bag of dark chocolate popcorn.
I think I'm good.
Okay. Good for another sprint, or good with your writing for or research?
So, Jen
also
suffers.
Good for another research sprint. So,
okay.
Jen also suffers from toxic productivity, which is something that I have been fighting for many years.
So even when I do nothing, I feel like I should be doing something.
The guilt, that toxic productivity guilt.
That's why
you got to get rid of that. You got to clock out.
I took my monthly goals and I said, if I don't reach my monthly goal, the next month is not catch up, because otherwise I'm just always playing catch up.
Yeah. You can't just
let it slip and slip and slip and always feel like you're never catching up, because we're writers. We give ourselves permanent homework.
And you can't cut out your fun days in order to try to dedicate that time to catching up, because that will actually make your progress slower. You have to have the fun to recharge.
Yes, which is why I end up working on Sundays and Saturdays. So that is also something that I struggle with a little bit.
Sorry for ruining your weekends by having a productivity sprint.
You don't ruin my weekend.
Okay.
Other people do that. No.
Right. So popping into the comments, Kelly is totally here for another sprint because they can finish their video. Jen says, the busier I am, the better. Kelly would like us to define toxic productivity. Do you want to take
really
a stab
good
at it?
example? A really good example of toxic productivity is so it is the hustle culture and the inability to clock out. So like ever. So a really good example is when the pandemic first started, there were memes that were saying, hey, if you don't come out of this pandemic with a new skill, what the hell are you even doing with your life? And I came to the conclusion that it's a pandemic, which is stressful in and of itself. Like, how about we just like concentrate on existing and like,
Yeah,
the bit that got me mad was the whole idea you're supposed to do new stuff. Is like, I worked through the pandemic. The time off, the additional time off that I had to put into sleep because I just kept going, and still managed to put out another novel. So
I ended up, spending that extra time helping run virtual conferences and working more and seeing and relaxing less, because if I have free time, I fill it up with stuff. There's a reason I'm a blogger and vlogger and podcaster and writer, and maybe I should stop adding hobbies and stop feeling like I need to monetize everything I do, and I need to step back.
Too.
Yeah.
That too. My husband actually called me out, saying that, hey, you don't need to monetize every single thing you do.
But haven't you seen the TikTok meme that says everything is content, everything is content, and tells you to record everything you do so you can throw it up on your channel as content?
No, because I don't have time to watch TikTok. No.
They're 15 seconds.
No, they're not 15 seconds. They're the promise of 15 seconds that ends up it being 3 hours of watching videos.
Yeah. Usually I see that audio with like someone putting frosting on a cupcake or doing one of those little clay cut wrap things. So popping back to the comments, I'm going to run through them quickly. Jen says, I am only getting good at it when I chill with my kid or watch TV or go out or whatever we do. Kelly says, with his to-do list, things just roll over. Yeah, that's what I do. Jen says, she's my kid. Half the reason I made this choice, working 2 jobs wasn't good. Weekends off. Nope. I'd say it caused burnout. And Kelly says, or that manager who wants you to work those extra hours.
Overtime and not pay you overtime.
Let's just say read between the lines.
Yeah. That happens more often than I care to admit.
Yeah. So Greg asked me if I saw the Washington Post article about Six on Saturday. I did not. In this instance, he's talking about Six, the musical about the 6 ex-wives of Henry VIII, which I'm going to see at the end of the month.
Cool.
So Six is the musical I was binging the audio for 2 weeks before the pandemic hit, and I was busily memorizing all the lyrics. So to me, it reminds me of the before times, but also it was my last like pre-pandemic fixation. So yeah. So Jen says it's neat that authors are using it. I don't know what it is. But
what is it? Yeah. What are you scared of?
Not sure. Time off?
Time off? Oh, free weekends.
Yeah.
Weekends off.
Yeah. Oh, no, TikTok.
Oh, TikTok. Okay.
I think it works better for different audiences. Since I see that you write romance, that might not be the right niche. I think
Yeah.
TikTok is for, I would say, women's lit fic. Sorry, that's the wrong genre. Women's fiction.
Women's fiction, maybe.
I would
Okay.
see maybe some YA stuff. But I think you got to look at the age group and the demographics of who are on which platform. So, yeah. And from what I hear for romance authors, the email newsletter is king.
Really?
For romance and cozy mystery. Yeah.
Not necessarily for other genres, but for those.
No. I'm thinking I might do a thing for like urban fantasy or, something like,
sure.
Because a lot of that, or horror, like, because a lot of that stuff isn't applicable to us.
Yeah. You meant marketing, not a newsletter.
In marketing, and as a whole, like,
I think people
letters included. Yeah.
People need to call out that you need to be where your audience is, not where you think. Yes, you want to be where you're comfortable for platforms, but you also need to pay attention to where your audience is.
Yes.
So, Mama Maggie has to head out. Thank you for coming. Jen says the idea of streaming makes her nervous. I got over it. That's part of the reason I'm here, was to get over those nerves.
I was going to say, one of the things that helped me with streaming was getting on somebody else's stream. I just have to stream.
Mama Maggie says, my OCD gives me toxic productivity. Yeah, that's a hard one.
When you start something and in the sense that, like, you have a million ideas and you have to see every single one of them to fruition.
I am a huge believer in everything has its time. There is a season for everything. And if I'm not ready to work on it, it's not its time yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm very much a pick your battles type person. So it's like, I maybe I want to do it, but I'm not doing it now.
Yeah. Jen says she's co-hosted twice and loved it. It was fun, but running it, panic mode.
Oh.
Yeah.
My first couple were a hot mess.
My first couple were a hot mess too.
Well, it doesn't help that I was trying to use OBX and my laptop shut down. I couldn't do anything but stream. I couldn't write while OBX was running.
Yeah.
And so I was like, there's the timer, and I'm going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs because my computer's going to crash.
Yeah.
So Mama Maggie says, I have a farm and I'm a writer. Nothing changed for me during the pandemic, except the kids were home and I was teaching them on top of all my usual chores.
Yeah.
And Jen even did a panel live stream for AWC and thinks it went well. That's awesome. It makes me feel better because I don't know how to do anything regarding streaming. None of us do at the beginning. And there's always the option to do a stream and then take it down or mark it as private. You don't have to keep it up forever.
Yep.
Well, and there's a learning curve, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, hi, this is my test stream. It is incredibly ephemeral because I'm figuring this stuff out.
Yeah, it's okay to explain to the audience what is happening on the back end.
Or have it as a private stream, log into another account and chat with yourself so you can get used to the controls and stuff.
And actually, I've heard of authors doing audio book recordings as a
Nightbot.
Yeah, apparently I still have Nightbot hooked up, and Nightbot would like us to stretch.
I apparently had Nightbot still attached to my account too.
Oh, ow!
Because it came up during my presentation.
I was to say, it's the first time Nightbot's shown up. I guess either it's finally night or Nightbot thinks we can do 3 hours or Yeah, 2 hours without stretching.
So Nightbot's only supposed to show up when we chat for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So he's not flooding the chat. So, Jen has a friend that wants them to do a live stream next week. So just do a couple of practice runs if you have time. So,
it's
see
a
you
lot
next
like
week.
learning.
Yeah,
it's a lot like
And
learning podcasting. You should do episodes before you ever release one.
Yeah, I mean, have at least 5 or 6 before you release one.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, my video posts are turning into my podcast because I just have my brother-in-law pull the audio out because he's got an app for that. And
I use iMovie.
Yeah, I don't have Apple.
Oh.
I'd have to play with like Audacity or something. And he is a professional video and audio editor. That's like his day job. So he can do it in 5 minutes, what it would take me. So
Forever.
Yeah.
And
so
the
all I
price is
have
right.
to do is download the videos off my YouTube, toss them out on Dropbox, and it does take me about 10 minutes to do the episode guide, like the text and the transcript and everything like that, and prep that. But then he just uploads it with the intro music and the outro and everything like that. And because my podcast is 3 years delayed, A, the information's still good, but B, reuse content. Don't recreate the wheel. And some people don't want to listen. I know none of you are these people, but some people don't want to listen to YouTube or Twitch. They'd rather, just listen to a podcast that they can download.
Greg is a great example, like just podcasts that he listens to while he plays Sudoku.
Yeah, and podcasts are great because you can take them with you. Especially you can enjoy the content while your eyes are doing something else.
Yeah,
which is great, but I don't have a commute anymore.
Yeah.
So,
when I'm working from home, I may be doing work on my computer, but I'm playing podcasts here in the living room.
I can't multitask like that.
I didn't used to be that way, and then I learned.
I got distracted from kissing my boyfriend because the TV came back from commercial. If there's a voice and something is happening, I can't ignore it.
Oh.
I'm not one of those TV or any sort of, like, the number of TED Talks I've listened to the first 2 minutes, I gave up after a while.
Okay. It's not for everybody, apparently.
Yeah. Greg says that wasn't me, Greg. No, Sako's spouse.
Yeah,
Greg.
different Greg. Yeah.
Jen misses podcasts. Listen to them all day in the office. Jen says a podcast would be so fun, but there are a ton of them. Well, if you ever get bored and want to try mine out, it's Writing Tips and Writerly Musings everywhere you get your podcasts.
So I just got the notification that the belly dance show that I submitted to is going to air in 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. So maybe not another sprint. Let's do a
So
link
maybe
drop
not
and
another
check
sprint
it.
for Sako.
Okay.
I am going to go to Crowdcast and
Awesome.
basically watch the belly dance show and hopefully pimp it out on my Facebook and my Twitter.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
all those things. But I
Jen-
love you guys.
Yes. Do it. Link drop.
Oh.
Shamelessly. Do it. If you can't, I will.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm gonna look.
Okay. So Greg says, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not Sako's spouse. Jen doesn't have an office. Uses headphones to block the noise from the TV in the living room. And everybody goes, URL. Oh, I mean URL, that one.
URL.
Yep.
URL. Oh, sorry, I'm easily amused.
You're starting Neural Brenner. No.
So, okay,
Nope.
so I can put it up there. fb.me/e/1 capital V lowercase WELJI capital N lowercase I.
You're trying.
It's so easy to remember, right?
Right?
Yep.
So, okay, well, do your outro.
Okay. If you like this video at any point, I encourage you to hit the like button and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that you would love to see Morgan do more streams like this one.
Like every Sunday.
Yeah, like every Sunday. And if you would like to be notified every Sunday in the future, then you might want to subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube actually notifies you when she goes live. And I will catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye. Thank you for coming. So glad you made it. Oh, so Doc, are you still up for another sprint? Or did we talk too
Yeah,
long?
I think I can
Let's
do one
do
more.
it. Let's do it then. I'm excited. I'm making progress and it's a good feeling. So let's go ahead and get. Oh, wait, there were chat comments. Greg says the URL says knee.
The URL that says me.
Sorry, knee. And Kelly
This is
says
no longer the URL that says me. No.
Yeah. And Kelly is asking how the ghost writing on Upwork works. So, okay. When we get back from our writing sprint, maybe we'll find out. But let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, boom. And we're back. How was your chapter?
Well, I settled on some candidates and started looking at another race, and it's like there's nothing on either of these people. Who are
Oh
they?
dear. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
That's what I
Is
get
there
for
a
trying to-
ballot?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
there
working off my
ballot?
ballot. I've got my mail-in
I'm
ballot.
sorry. Is there a sample ballot that says if you like this person, you'll probably like this person for these downstream candidates?
Nah. At least not that I'm seeing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I got 349 words written in a new chapter that I'm adding in the middle.
Nice.
So I haven't renumbered the other chapters yet, but I think it's gonna go okay. I did steal probably 100 of these words from the chapter that comes after this, since I am filtering it in the middle. But instead of telling how her crew reacts when they're told a human's coming on board, maybe I should show it, especially since this character needs more scenes and longer chapters.
Yeah.
So
That sounds like a good plan.
exactly. So I'm definitely expanding her role in the story and really hitting you in the feels with her motivations that aren't entirely centered around the human, because and colonialism, what?
Yeah, really.
So yeah, super excited how that sprint went. So yeah, let's pop over to the comments really quick.
Yeah, I noticed comments were just flooding in here after.
Well, we went to sprint right after Kelly asked how the ghostwriting works. So let's see. Jen says, it seems pretty straightforward. Not every client is perfect that way, but I've had great luck. Lots of long-term clients. That's awesome. Kelly says he's been looking into it. He will look into it. He's been trying to ghostwrite for the longest time. And Kelly needs to rewrite an asteroid scene for their work in progress. Who says jumping projects doesn't accomplish anything? He was curious about the phenomena with the Kirkwood gaps in the main belt between Mars and Jupiter for one of the new projects, and the research it helped with the other work in progress, to which he has paused editing this weekend. Oh no, Don Quiddy says energy dropped completely, but great session. Got a new tone in the first chapter with some significant rewrites and is very happy tonight. Thank you for joining us. I hope this is the chapter and tone that sets it and gets you into the rest of the story. Fingers crossed. So, I think I might get some more writing done tonight, but I think maybe we should wrap sprint stream.
Yeah, I think it's probably time to break for some food, and I think the cat who's sitting here staring at me will probably agree to that.
Great. Well, I visited my mother this weekend, and so I left my cat 2 things of food, and he didn't finish it. So
shock, disbelief. No,
he was not starving when I got home, shall we say. So
my cats are never starving. They've always got kibble out, but they want that wet food goodness.
So, Doc, are you going to have your samples out to your editors before the end of the week?
That's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because your time is getting short.
Oh, honestly, I suspect that my time is already blown, but I still want to move forward with everything. I may not be aiming for September, but I can aim for Christmas. Damn it!
Maybe you can aim for ChessieCon or CapClave. CapClave is end of September. ChessieCon is Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. get it out there as soon as I can.
Yeah.
And then the fun part will be doubling down on edits on book 3 while doing the audiobook for book 1.
But I mean, I think that'll be a good way to remind you of things that happened in the past, so you make sure that
Mhm.
continuity is maintained.
Yeah.
So, but I gotta say, you know, you've got book 2's about to come out. You've drafted book 3, so you know where you're going. So that's not a bad place. Not a bad place at all.
And I've got, I know what's going on in the next 4 books after that.
That's at least at the high level.
Oh yeah, at least at the high level. But I think I may take a little break from steampunk and work on a YA trilogy that I
Nice.
started a few years back.
Okay.
Go ahead and pick it back up and see if I can get something out. You have a catechist.
So let's go ahead and do our outros and get on with our evening.
Get on with life. All right. I am Doc Coleman, folks. I write steampunk comedy adventure. If you're curious about what that is, you can go to your favorite search engine and you can enter Doc Coleman Steampunk, and you should be able to find my Amazon author page and my my author page at doccoleman.com. You should also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you should be able to find that in the links down below. Keep watching. I'm on the end trail for getting the next book published, so that my series will actually be a series.
All right.
So.
And I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. I'm an actively queering fantasy author, blogger, vlogger, podcaster. I'm currently editing my space fantasy. And this week on the podcast, I had sex, sexuality, and world building on writing tips and writerly musings. And on the blog and the vlog, I was doing my Imaginarium 2022 roundup, talking about all the panels I hit, all the things I did wrong, and all the wonderful people I met. And I also have a video from yesterday where I gave a talk for the AuthorTube Writer Conference, talking about how the traditional publishing process works. And a lot more, I'm sure. But thank you all for watching, and we'll be back next week with hopefully a little more productivity and maybe some snacks. Thanks for coming. Bye.